The environment is becoming more and more of a hot topic, especially among teens. Scrolling through Instagram, it's impossible to miss the overwhelming message from young people. We need to do something to save the environment, and we can.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Young people are taking huge steps to lower pollution, both physical and gaseous pollutions. We're organizing protests and walking out of school to demonstrate the desperate need to lower pollution and to stop the rising sea levels. We are organizing pickup days to pick up trash around our school and bringing reusable water bottles, utensils, and containers for lunch.
I started trash cleanups not because I thought that it would solve the pollution problem that we have, but because I thought that it would inspire people to get out there and make a difference, and it has. A lot of people who don't really know anything about the environment come and pick up, and they're like, wow, this is really cool, I want to do it another time.
We're encouraging composting and buying thrifted clothes and buying less overall. The problem clearly doesn't lie with most teens and young adults.
I do encourage thrifting is one thing, obviously. Also, recycling, being aware of your own habits, and hopefully spreading those habits to other people, even if it's, little things.
Corporations, electricity, and transportation are the majority of the pollution that is contributing harmful greenhouse gases to the already crowded atmosphere, warming the planet. According to the EPA, greenhouse gases are gases that trap heat and make the planet warmer. Human activities are responsible for almost all of the increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere over the last 150 years. The largest source of greenhouse gas emissions from human activities in the United States is from burning fossil fuels for electricity, heat, and transportation. Commercial and residential accounts for only 12% of greenhouse gas emissions, while industries account for 22%. Electricity accounts for 28%, and transportation is the biggest at 29%. To fuel this massive appetite for energy, quite literally, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, in 2018, U.S. total petroleum production averaged about 17.73 million barrels per day. Total petroleum consumption averaged about 20.50 million barrels per day in 2018. That's equivalent to 861 million gallons of oil a day, about 1,300 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth. Every gallon of oil produces 22 pounds of carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. Oil can also spill and completely destroy an environment for decades to come. According to the New York Times, on January 28, 1969, an oil rig exploded off the coast of Santa Barbara, California, spewing 3 million gallons of crude oil into the ocean in one of the worst environmental disasters in the history of the United States. At the time, there were no federal measures in place to regulate offshore drilling. After the spill, local officials pleaded with the federal government to end oil exploration off the California coast, but it was not until 1978 that the first federal regulations were passed. The presence of so much oil in the water can lead to events like the 1969 Cuyahoga River fire near Cleveland, Ohio. The river had caught fire at least 13 times before. On top of this, plastic is ubiquitous in our modern society. From our phones to our shoes to the groceries we buy, it's almost impossible to eliminate plastic usage. Plastic isn't just made from that awful petroleum, which by the way is a finite resource, meaning we only have a certain set amount on the planet. It lasts forever. It can take anywhere between 10 and 1,000 years to decompose, assuming it's not in a sealed landfill with other plastic, and this doesn't break down fully. The particles of plastics only seem to disappear when they enter the food chain where they get stuck in the bellies of countless animals.
Plastics were first developed by John Wesley Hyde in the 19th century as a synthetic replacement for billiard balls.
According to National Geographic, so much plastic trash is flowing into the oceans that 90% of seabirds eat it now, and virtually everyone will be consuming it by 2050. In 1960, plastic was found in the stomachs of fewer than 5%, but by 1980 it had jumped to 80%. Albatross are more prone to eating plastic because they fish by skimming their beaks across the top of the water and inadvertently take in plastics floating on the surface. Sharp-edged plastic kills birds by punching holes in internal organs. Some seabirds eat so much plastic there is little room left in their gut for food, which affects their body weight, jeopardizing their health. Just between energy usage and the consumption of plastic, the environment is suffering too much. The President has the power to help rectify these issues and keep the environment from degrading any further. We want to see the 2020 presidential campaign cover this because the future of our country depends upon the health of it. It isn't that other issues don't matter, it's that if the planet isn't healthy, we won't even be able to focus on other issues. The candidate who addresses this the best will likely receive a large portion of the vote from young adults, so they should be prepared to address it effectively. The future of our country depends upon it.